Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Super excited again to bring you another podcast when I talk about my life experience, right? My name is Anthony Parker, owner of AP Creative Services, LLC, and this has been a process for me. You know, it's been an opportunity for me to experience what it's like to give advice, feedback, perspective to the masses. And I'm just super excited once again to bring you another episode where I read you these questions and give you my answers to just living this journey, living this life, right? One, and I kind of cheated today. I kind of already grabbed one that I thought would have been cool, and I want to read it, but I want to create a dialogue around what this answer really means and why it resonated to me. It says, how has professional relationships helped me grow my business? I don't think y'all understand. For me, one thing that helped me really thrive as a business owner is to have relationships. I'm talking solid relationships where my clients know me, know my product, know my experience, know what I'm capable of doing, and giving me the space to really execute. Mainly for my new business owners, it's so important for you to kind of lock in on your niche and to meet people and grow with people as you build out your niche, right? As you get professional, as you get polished in it. I'm gonna tell you right now, my first graphic design opportunity, I thought was trash, but it was shared amongst the community of people so that they can see, experience, and kind of repost it into the world. You know, I'll never forget when, Lincoln University, we had an SGA. I never forget when SGA was like, hey, our graphic designer is graduating. We don't have anybody to make any of these designs, and we're going to give this opportunity to you. Granted, this is when, for my real designers, poster on my wall was a thing. This is before Canva. This is literally a world where you had to download things and it had poster on my wall at the bottom of the corner. You had to crop up for my real OGs. But literally growing with them as a sophomore. Junior year, I was able to really lock in and create some superstar design. Senior year, they gave me full reign to just create. But those relationships, and I'm talking about on a student level, translated to a professional level where I was able to grow and scale with the actual administration and faculty and staff. Taking those same fundamentals I took as a student into 10x them and work with the clientele there. So I would say that the main thing really that I want people to kind of take away is to grow with your clientele. Grow, become not friends with them, but become partners. Become really a shared partner. Understand their mission and vision. Understand what they're trying to do. If they have a thing that they're trying to do that year, really understanding it. So when it's time to create, you know it like the back of your hand, and you're able to kind of take it to that next level creatively. I wanted to get into some more of these questions. Like I said before, if you guys have questions that you want me to answer, to talk about, I want you to mix them up. Like, I don't want them to just be about my business and my clients. Ask about my life. Keep it, keep it cute. But like, I want to give you guys real insight behind how I've got to the place that which I'm able to operate now. The flashiness is cool, but like, I'm a real person. I went through some real stuff, and for me, the stuff that I went to allowed me to get to the level in which I'm at now. And I want to give that back, This is called reflection and real talk. We know we have a couple categories on here. Reflection and real talk. Which one thing I wish I would have known before becoming a business owner? This is huge, right? One thing I really wish I would have honed in on is understanding business tax and understanding business expenses. I can run these off the top now, but back then when I established this business as the Palace Prince Photography, one thing they didn't tell me is that you have to renew taxes each year. So one thing I fell behind on in, starting a business in a college as a student is realizing every year you have to pay a certain amount of money to your Secretary of State. I didn't have that as a college student. So I'm running behind on my expenses and their current interest, but I didn't have, but not even that, I just was not aware of the fact that you have to pay these taxes and fees every year. Another thing is just overhead. When we're at this space now where we're hiring our friends and we're bringing on people around us to help us grow and scale this business, that's an operating expense. And does your business have the financial capital to afford that? is a question you have to kind of ask yourself internally. Is there a startup cost you're associated with your business that allowed you to have a certain pot of money for you can compensate people's time? You know, you can get the rentals, you can get the Ubers, you can get the food for your team. Like, these are expenses that no one told me about when I started this business, especially bringing on a team of people. You have to equate like real life. You know, I call it, when I tell my friends, accounting for variable change. Things that we don't know that's going to happen, but we look up and say, I knew something like that would happen. I knew they'd be hungry. I know we need batteries. I know we need SD cards. I know we need rental cameras. Like, equating for that and having at the end of the day an operating expense to cover that. So those are two things that I wish I would have known, but I'm glad I learned it at the rate in which I did, because now I'm able to pivot. I'm able to kind of learn and position myself. I know I have a pretty nice contract coming up. Let me think about the things that are outside of the norm that I should be preparing for. Let's see what else we got. Shout out to Canon. This is a Canon Cup. I'm a Canon photographer. For those who don't know, I think Canon is the best in photography and in cameras, but I know I have a biased opinion. I'm interested to see what cameras do y'all shoot with for my photographers and videographers. Like, what's y'all go-to cams? You know, I get a lot of FX3s, a lot of FX30s people are talking about now, you know, the FX2s. I want to see what are y'all shooting with on a daily basis. Like, what makes y'all strong in y'all field that y'all have to go Canon or go Sony or go Nikon for some of this content? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. This next question: what are some life-defining moments in my childhood or high school that shaped me to be who I am today? Now, I'm always going to take the scope of my business, AP Creative Services. A lot of that started by just high school opportunity. I was honored to be a part of a cohort in high school called the Audio Engineering Club, and we literally were immersed into audio engineering. I have to give a huge shout out to Thomas Dean, who was able to give us our first opportunity behind an audio console. Behind that console, we really were just experimenting, understanding sound, understanding design, understanding EQ, buses, auxes, not digging into too much of like Matrix or, bus, but like understanding the basics. In that course, I was able to really understand studio recording, but really live production. And I'm just super honored to be a part of that world then, because it shaped me to who I am now. Just with that knowledge of being behind a console, I'm able to go in front of a crowd or a concert or a venue and really produce. Back then it was a little more intimidating, but like now I already know this console. I already know the basics on an analog setup to where I can now translate that to a digital console. So, big shout out to them. I would say get experience early, because that gives you time to, when you're really ready to master it, you have the insight behind you. You put the years in, you already put in the foot traffic and the foot trail to get you to where you need to go, experience-wise. I don't want to talk too much because there's more questions in there that talks about like how I got to where I got to, but I know for just audio, that started 15, 16 years ago now. So just learning that stuff then, and it was so much, it was so hard then. And I'm thinking about it as I go back, and I haven't really talked about this much, but like going back then, we had finals and midterms, and they gave us questions about learning it and kind of learning, the background and the metrics into it. Now I'm able to just talk, word vomit across it. But like back then, it was really a challenge to understand exactly what he was able to teach us at that time. So shout out to him. I love to get back up with him. That's one of my things. So I put that on my list to reach out and kind of create more dialogue, just to even thank him and see where he is now. Because now we're doing some real stuff. We got some real experience. We got some real world opportunity to really be doing it. And it's really all thanks to him. So shout out to my boy. Hope you're doing well. Let's do a few more. We got some time to really get into some of these questions and talk a little bit more. What keeps me grounded through the ups and the downs? For y'all who are getting into business, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times where you are not motivated. There's times where you want to lay in that bed. There's times where, it's a rainy day and you don't want to do anything, but you have to remain, diligent, focused to get it done. What helps me remain grounded is really talking to I call them my home friends. My friends that I've created and developed relationship in high school, in middle school, in elementary school. Still shout out to some of y'all. Having those relationships then carried on into the real world is important. Hey, what are you up to nowadays? Like, what's new? Catch me up. How can I keep up to like what you're doing outside of like social? Like social is great, but I feel like we put our wins up there. You know, we put our victories on social, but a lot of times we're not always shining. It's not always sunny over here. You feel me? Like there's multiple times, I won't say multiple, but there's moments in which I'm down. Like I need motivation. I need, experience. I need somebody to coach me through certain things. And I've developed that community since younger, I'm talking school days. So what keeps me grounded is really looking back at my friends and saying, yo, let me catch you up. Yo, catch me up. Yo, let's have conversation to just inspire each other. Elementary school friends, but even my friends to today, having that brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? To just, yo, this is what I got going on. What you think? Give me perspective. What you think I should do about this, bro? Like, cheer me up. One of my clients said something crazy. Cheer me up. Let me know what you think about this. Like, let's make a joke out of it. But at the end of the day, get me inspired to get back into it and tackle another day. For me, has always been, a way that I kind of, kept grounded and kind of overcame and stayed humble overall in the whole process, like growing, reflecting, looking back on it and saying, wow, we did that. Like we did that, but we've been doing that. We ain't gonna stop doing it for me, I got a little bit more time. I'm trying to look at the time. They got me on a little timer. Make sure we ain't talking too long. I want to keep these videos succinct for y'all. It says, what was my first real experience with audio-visual work? Shout out to this question because this is a story. I'll never forget, shout out to my dad. He really threw me in with my first real experience, and it came from church. I don't know a lot of my followers personally, but I know for me, I came from a religious background. Christian, full gospel, Baptist church background. My dad was a part of the River of Life Church. And at the River of Life, it was a moment at that church where they were a part of another ministry and they grown to become their own ministry. When you become your own ministry, you have to have ministry leaders and you have to have people in a position that are, I call them superstars in that field. We need praise team leaders. We need ushers. We need ministers, pastors, elders to be like aces in their places. And for me in particular, the AV space is where I seen myself. I kind of gravitated to it. And this was around the same time in which I was in the AV classes at Mount Pleasant High School. And the church was like, yo, like we're looking for people that want to learn more and do more in the AV space. Me, I'm about 15, 16. I'm like, yo, I want to learn more. I got a camera. I've shot, some videos. I was terrible, but I shot some stuff. And an opportunity in particular is when all of the AV team had resigned. I don't know what the history was and what happened, but I just know that one day they were like, hey, you were a part of this ministry a few weeks ago. No one's here. We're hoping that you can kind of step into that role. I'm 16. I shouldn't be doing nothing. I should be in children's church, for real. But I took that challenge and I kind of put myself in position to get behind a console. Everything was going bad that day. I'm talking about the mics were feeding back, the monitors weren't turning on, the camera wasn't trying to record, the software failed because the computer had to update. So many variable factors went on, but they were looking at me as the ace in the place to get this thing going. I even think that day we had a guest band there that had trumpets, saxophones, like they had a full, I'm talking ensemble being a part of that choir there. And for me, I had to step back and say, let me apply some of that stuff I learned in high school to the situation. And I became immediately, yo, this is what we gotta do. Oh, we need to figure this out. Let's route this like this on this console. Let's set this up. Let's turn the power. Let's troubleshoot this in a matter of moments. So I think opportunities like that for me remind me, you don't really need the people that are supposed to be there if you know what you're doing. If you really know what you're doing, if you're really a tech, if you really have the experience and exposure that you think you have, this is the time to show it. And for me, as my first real, and I call it a tech, is not a tech in today's term, but it was my real opportunity to step up and to be that void for the church. And I think I did an amazing job on my feet being able to maneuver and get things going. So once again, my first opportunity would have to be with that church. And to this day, I'm super thankful for the opportunity to even be asked to be a part of the AV ministry, to even be there. I'm talking, my dad had the key to the building, to be there at 8 a.m., to stay till about 5 or 6 p.m. I'm honored to even be a part of that conversation because it taught me what it means to really be diligent, to really be invested, to really immerse yourself in the technology and immerse yourself in the experience. And that's something that I'll never get back, but I'm super grateful for the opportunity. This is my last one. We're running on our time. Once again, I do appreciate y'all sending these questions in, really tuning into, what it is that I want to do, and that's this podcast. I'm sure one day I'll find a title for it, but for right now, y'all are just yapping with AP. But, I'll put some thought into what it'll be called and the title and, just the overall direction, But for right now, I love what this is doing, and I love the response y'all are giving me for it. So I want to keep this going. My question is, what does it mean to represent my brand every day, on and off the clock? This is big. And I think for creatives, I don't even want to focus on AV. I want to say creatives. We feel like we have to put the brand on our back. We have to have the shirts. We got to have the pillows, the name tag. We got to put the brand on a sticker on the side of our car. For me, that's representing the brand, but I would even go further. Representing the brand is making the brand you. You know what I'm saying? One thing that people will always say about me is I'm smiling, I'm excited, I'm ecstatic to be doing what I'm doing. And it's true, I make the joke all day, today is the day the Lord has made. But it's true, we would not be here without the Lord. And I would not be doing what I'm doing at the level I'm doing it without the Lord. So if I'm not doing it with a smile, I'm remiss. I would be remiss if I'm doing it without a smile. So I'm thankful to be in this space, to be given opportunities, to be dealing with the contracts, to be dealing with the clientele that I have. So, for me, it means to put the brand on your back 24 hours a day. You can take some time off. I'm not saying overwhelm yourself, but you are the brand. You are the business. When you walk into that room, walk in with a smile, walk in with confidence, because at the end of the day, you're selling your brand, yes, but you're selling yourself. Those I'm talking relationships that you're going to make from the people that you're going to meet, they're remembering you. Yo, that dude that was smiling, yo, is his work really good? Oh, bro, I'll never forget him because he's consistently smiled. He consistently had the high energy. He gave us mad insight. He was super creative. The execution was on point. Those are the statements that you want to hear from potential clients that now turn into relationship clients. So I would say 100% the brand is, or the meaning is putting the brand on your back and letting it resonate around the clock. So if you go in with that attitude, with that mantra, with that insight, you are literally setting yourself up for success. And if you get to that place, when you get to that place, I'm excited to see what you'll be doing, because you'll even be radiating different when you get into those spaces. So that's all the questions we have for today. I'm super, once again, just excited that you guys are tuning in. You're sharing this content, you're liking this comment, or you guys are liking this content, you're commenting that what we're saying is beneficial. What I'm saying is beneficial, but overall what I'm doing and the conversation we're having is, meaningful. Tune in once again for another episode. I'm AP, Anthony Parker, and I'm just honored to be giving you guys this perspective. Until next week.